So we'll be starting now, guys. Can you see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay, so we'll be starting. How to Ace Middle School by Rishi and Rithanya. Table of contents. So today we'll be talking about LCPS versus FCPS. So this will basically be the change, I mean, the differences, and then understanding the changes, clubs, lockers, electives, life skills, grades and academics, and also some awards.
Okay, so first of all, what are the differences between LCPS and FCPS? So, what are the similarities and differences? So, one main thing to keep in mind is the grade levels. So, the grade structure in middle schools, FCPS, compared to LCPS, is traditionally very different. In FCPS, students typically start middle school from seventh grade and it runs until eighth grade. In Loudoun County Public Schools, it starts in sixth grade and runs through eighth grade. However, in recent years, some FCPS schools have been using the sixth to eighth grade method that Loudoun County is using as well. So, this is showing a change toward better alignment with neighboring districts and national trends.
Syllabus and SOLs. So, despite these structural differences, both FCPS and LCPS follow the Virginia Standards of Learning, also known as VA-SOL, which serve as a statewide education framework for core academic subjects. This shared curriculum ensures consistency in academic expectations and learning outcomes across both counties, regardless of when students officially begin middle school. As a result, the transition between schools or counties is generally more seamless and less confusing for students and parents alike. So, this is since the academic content and standards remain aligned across the districts. So, over here we have a Venn diagram. It's basically explaining the same thing. So, FCPS is mostly 7th to 8th grade. That's when they started. And LCPS 6th to 8th grade. And then they both have a syllabus and SOLs in common.
Okay, so now moving on to the next slide, we're going to talk about some special education opportunities available for high school and LCPS. So in middle school, you will be taking some tests which are placement tests like give you an opportunity to enroll in a high school. So firstly, Loudoun County Public Schools has Academies of Loudoun. The Academies of Loudoun is a specialized high school in Virginia which is focused on STEM education and technical training. It combines science, engineering, and career programs for advanced learning. And for this, you have to take a test. Next, we have HAMSI. HAMSI in Loudoun County is a specialized high school program that prepares students for careers in healthcare and medical sciences. For this, you will be placed in a lottery to get in. Next up, we have the IB program, also known as International Baccalaureate. The IB program starts with pre IB in ninth grade and leads on to earning the IB diploma in 11th and 12th grades. For this, you will be placed in the lottery to get in. Lastly, the most well known program is Thomas Jefferson High School. Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology is a top ranked public magnet school in Virginia, which is focused on STEM education.
Understanding the changes. So, what kind of changes do you go through from elementary school to middle school? Teachers. In middle school, you'll have a different teacher for each subject, and here's what to expect and how to handle it. So, first of all, you'll have multiple teachers. In middle school, you'll have different teachers for each subject, each with their own teaching style and expectations. Different classroom rules. Different teachers have different rules. So, be sure to learn and follow each one's rules and expectations. Learn their expectations. Some teachers give study guides, others expect detailed notes. Ask if you're unsure of what they want. Build good relationships. Be respectful, follow directions, and participate to make a good impression. Be friendly and positive. You don't need to be best friends with your teachers, but being kind and engaged really helps. A positive attitude makes school easier and more enjoyable. Learning to work with different teachers is a big part of middle school, and it's a great way to prepare you for high school and beyond.
Next up, we're going to talk about middle school schedules. So, typically, middle schoolers follow a class schedule. This consists of rotating between different subjects and sometimes different blocks or periods. Some schools even have A day and B days, or rotating schedules. Middle school students can explore fun electives like art, music, drama, and world languages, helping them discover their interests and talents.
Homework. Middle school brings more responsibility when it comes to schoolwork. Here is what you can expect and how it prepares you for the future. So first of all, you'll have more homework. Expect more homework from multiple teachers, so good time management is key. More complex assign- more complex assignments. Assignments will need more deeper thinking and better organization. This often involves research and detailed responses. Long term projects. Some assignments take days or even weeks to finish, so use a planner to break them into smaller steps and still stay on track. Frequent tests and quizzes. Tests are more frequent, so review notes daily instead of cramming the night before. It also prepares you for high school. These habits build skills for high school, making the transition easier once you master the middle school ways. Middle school academics may feel a big step up, but they're also the perfect time to build stronger habits that will help you for years to come.
Next, we're going to talk about the new big shifts. So, first of all, PE will become much more structured in middle school than it is in elementary school. Your social life can become more big and sometimes confusing. A lot of friend groups may shift. Students may also interact with a larger and more diverse group of peers. There may also be school dances, clubs, or student council opportunities. Students are expected to take more personal responsibility for managing their time compared to elementary school. They're also required to keep track of their assignments and prepare for tests. Teachers often don't remind students about everything the way elementary teachers might, so make sure you stay alert. The grading system also becomes more formal as you will be using the A to F grading scale.
So now we have clubs. So why should you join clubs? First of all, let's talk about clubs. One of the best parts of middle school is the opportunity to join clubs and explore new interests outside of regular classes. Clubs are a great way for students to connect with peers who share similar passions. It could be art, robotics, drama, chess, student government, or even community service. To join, students usually sign up through a form or a school website, attend an interest meeting, or speak with the club sponsor. This could be a teacher or staff member who oversees the club.
Okay, but you may be asking, why should I join a club? Well, in middle schools, clubs give you the opportunity to meet new people. I met a lot of my friends I've met during clubs, and you can find similar interests and new talent you never had before by joining clubs. You can also discover your interests and build confidence by joining clubs. As you join clubs, you will develop new skills, and this also will boost your resume and college applications in the future.
After school buses. Since many clubs meet after school, late buses are often available on designated days to help students get home. The schedule for after school transportation is usually shared by the school early in the year. Parents and students should be aware of what days buses run and how to sign up if needed.
Okay, next up, we have lockers. Why is it important to keep everything under control? Lockers. Your locker becomes your personal space for storing books, binders, gym clothes, and supplies. At first, it might feel overwhelming to remember what you need for each class and manage quick stops between periods, but lockers are very helpful when used well. First of all, keep your locker tidy. This is very important. Use shelves or small bins to separate materials by subject. Next, avoid clutter. Clean it out weekly to remove old papers and junk. And most importantly, know your locker combination. Make sure you keep practicing it until it feels automatic and you don't waste time between classes.
So
So now we're
now,
going to see a quick video on how to open lockers and how to open them like a pro. Ritanya, can you unmute your page? We can't hear it.
wait, what?
Can you just restart? Let's see if we can hear it again.
Okay.
If you need to open a combination lock, start by turning the dial on the lock clockwise to the right 3 times. Stop turning when the marker or line points to the first number of the combination. The marker or line is often red and will be at the top of the dial. Then turn the dial counterclockwise to the left for one full turn, passing the first number of the combination and stopping at the second number of the combination. Finally, turn the dial clockwise to the right and stop at the last number of the combination. Pull up the shackle at the top of the lock, and the locker should open right up. If the locker doesn't open for you, repeat the process from the beginning and go a little slower this time to make sure you input the correct combination of numbers. If the locker still won't open, the combination you have for the locker may be incorrect. If you need to open a
Were you guys able to hear it?
Yes, Ritanya, we heard it.
If you need to open a combination lock,
So now we'll be talking about electives. So these will be these choices that might be available to you. Electives for FCPS: Fine and Performing Arts, Visual Arts, Art Foundations, 3D Art, Art Extensions, Computers and Art, 3D Art Exploration, Music, Band, Orchestra, Chorus. So these will have various levels. Theater: Theater Arts Appreciation, Advanced Theater Arts, Musical Theater, and Technical Theater. Career and Technical Education, CTE or STEM. Business and IT, Computer Solutions, and Coding and Innovative Technologies, 1 and 2. Engineering, Engineering 1, which involves design and model, 2, which involves simulation and fabrication, and 3, that involves advanced design and prototyping. Family and Consumer Science. This is also known as FACS 1. So we have FACS 1 and FACS 2. This will include cooking, sewing, and independent life skills. Electives for CPS continued. World languages. Common offerings include French, Spanish. You might also have Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, and more. English and media electives. Media communications, journalism, creative writing, and newspaper. Other electives: Strats for Success, Life Skills, Literacy Arts, Special Education, ESOL, etc.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the electives in LCPS. So the electives in LCPS, they're gonna be very similar to the ones in FCPS, but there are some slight changes. So first up, we have fine and performing arts. we have visual arts, and this will be art 7 to 8 and 3D art. Art 7, as it says in the name, you'll take in 7th grade, and art 8 in 8th grade. Next up, we have band and orchestra. So depending on your school, you're going to take band, you can take band from 6th to 8th grade and switch to guitar during 7th through 8th. Then we have theater. So this is where you do drama and you have your theater electives such as drama, drama 8, and theater arts. Next up, we have career and technical education and STEM. So we have computer science, an intro to computer science foundations, and for technology and engineering, we have tech education 8 and technology of robotic design. Lastly, we have family and consumer sciences, which is known as FACS. In here, you'll learn cooking and many life skills for your future. Now, this is when it gets a little different from FCPS. World languages. Our world languages are French 1 and 2, German 1 and 2, Spanish 1 and 2, and Latin 1 and 2. Okay, so now electives for LCPS continued. So these are the English and communication electives. So there's only one in this section, and this is known as communication studies. Communication studies is basically where students make the morning news show and collaborate together to edit these news shows and learn many skills in this elective. And some other programs we have are Spectrum and Resource. Spectrum is just an enrichment class for gifted students. And an option we have is known as elective expungement. So this is if you didn't do so well in the class, you have an opportunity to just take that out of your transcript, and if you want to, just you can take it out. So yeah.
Life skills. How to deal with mental health. Part 1. What is bullying? Bullying is when someone keeps being mean on purpose to hurt or scare another person. Bullying. How should you respond to it? Recognize different forms: physical, verbal, social, cyber. You should stand up safely. Speak confidently, use humor, and walk away. Report it. Talk to a trusted adult or school counselor. Support others. Be an ally to a classmate who's getting mistreated. What is self advocacy? Self advocacy means speaking up for yourself to get help or things you need. By learning to advocate for themselves, students gain confidence, develop problem solving skills, and become more independent learners.
Okay. Two other life skills we have are managing stress. So manage stress is when you feel worried, scared, or overwhelmed because something is very hard or a lot to handle. So in middle school, you'll encounter a lot of situations that you'll have to deal with stress. And here are some ways to manage stress in middle school. First up, time management. Use planners to avoid last minute stress. Assignments and bunching them up can often cause stress, and it's very important to manage time. Next, take breaks and often breathe. Don't bottle it up. Next, healthy habits. This is a very important one. Middle school isn't just all about studying. You have to also get enough sleep. Make sure you're getting more than 8 hours of sleep. Eat well and consistently exercise. And if stress comes to a point where it's unbearable, always know that you have a trusted adult or a friend you can talk it out with. Next, we have decision making. So, decision making is choosing what to do from different options or choices. Think before you act and use the stop method. Before you make a decision, stop and calm down. Think about your choices, observe the consequences, and proceed with the best decision. This could be one example I had during school is when I had to choose a partner for a group project. Should I do it with a friend who will stay on task or a friend that's very fun to do? In these situations, you have to use the stop method.
Grades and academics. So, in this section, you'll be learning about the importance of maintaining grades and how to study well. Why maintaining grades are important. Maintaining grades in middle school builds strong habits early. It prepares you for high school challenges. It teaches you responsibility, boosts confidence and motivation. Also, in 7th and 8th grade, you may run into higher level courses, which could be known as high school courses. These courses have a real time impact on your future GPA, which may be the decider to which college you go to.
Okay, next up, we're going to talk about credit classes. In middle school, some students have the opportunity to take credit bearing classes. These are courses that count towards high school graduation requirements. So, this is very confusing, and I would say that credit classes is something, it's like a high school class that you would normally take in high school. Students would normally take it. And taking credit classes in middle school can help students get ahead academically. Some examples include mathematics, so science, and world languages. So in maths, some high school math courses you can take in middle school are algebra and geometry. For science, it's physical science and biology. These are less common, but it is still possible to take it. And the most common one that students take is world languages, such as Spanish, French, or any other foreign language.
So, benefits and things to consider. This helps you get ahead by finishing graduation requirements early, allowing you time for AP, IB, dual enrollment, or electives. This opens doors to advanced courses and strengthens your college applications by showing initiative and readiness for challenging work. So, this basically proves that you can handle more harder work. Grades do matter. So, these affect your GPA and appear on your high school transcript. These courses are harder than regular middle school classes and usually require a strong commitment, as switching out can be very difficult.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the high school courses that students often take in middle school, ranked by difficulty. So, I've took all these courses and I'm personally ranking them by difficulty. So first up, we have language one. So this could be from your Spanish to your Latin, any of those courses. This is going to be the easiest because you take it in 7th grade and most students take this. Then we will have algebra 1. Students often take this in 7th and 8th grade. This course is very complex and it's a starter, it gives you a head start to high school math. Next up, we have geometry. This is hard because it's math, but it's more in the visual side of math. Then, the second hardest course, believe it or not, is language 2. Language 2 is hardest because you have to start speaking your language fluently now. And last up, Algebra 2 Trig. This course is not usually taken by students at all, but a selected amount will be selected to take this course. And this course is very rigorous and it's for students who are up to the challenge.
Awards. What are the different types of societies can you be a part of? NJHS, National Junior Honor Society. The National Junior Honor Society, also known as NJHS, is a nationwide organization that recognizes outstanding middle school students for their academic achievement and commitment to core values: scholarship, service, leadership, character, and citizenship. It serves as the middle school counterpart to the National Honor Society, NHS, and this is available only in FCPS schools. While specific requirements may vary by chapter, students are generally invited based on a high GPA, typically 3.5 or above, and must often submit an application, essay, and teacher recommendation. So the NHS is like more for high school, and you could also be emailed about it, so check your email.
Okay, so now you may be asking, like, how do you get selected? So we're going to talk about that now. Getting selected. A faculty council will first review applications and select members who exemplify the five pillars. NJHS members are expected to maintain academic excellence, like Rithanya said, participate in service and leadership activities, and serve as role models within their school and community. So, membership offers recognition, leadership development, and a strong foundation for high school and beyond, and is celebrated through a formal induction ceremony.
So now we have the Presidential Award. The Presidential Award is an honored recognition for students in the United States, of course, representing their academic excellence and educational growth. It is awarded by the U.S. Department of Education, with the President of the United States also taking part with it. It is often given to students who show strong progress, effort, or unique talent.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about what do students receive in this presidential award ceremony. So, students will first receive a certificate signed by the President and US Secretary of Education. And this is often presented at end of the year school ceremonies. And we're going to talk about why is it important. So, these presidential awards are important because it encourages students to aim high and value hard work. This also looks very good on school records, college applications, and resumes. This recognizes not just academic success, but also effort and hard determination. So I just wanted to say, thank you everyone for listening. And now we're gonna just conduct a Q&A session for everyone who has any questions. And don't be afraid to speak up.
So first we have Shravanti Auntie's question. How many electives can one choose in each academic year? So it really depends on what kind of elective there is. So we have a full year elective and also a semester elective. The full year one, you'll be taking it throughout the 7th or 8th grade class. And the semester one, you'll be taking it for half the class, the school year. Oh, Rishi, I think you're like muted.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say as well. So in LCPS, so semester classes are something like a requirement students have to take. So an example I'll give you is in seventh grade, students are required to take um tech ed and facts. So just like in elementary school, students have quarters like quarter one, two, three, and four. So we will be taking tech ed for quarters one and two and switch to facts for quarters three and four. So this students will just get like an understanding of each class. And the amount of electives you can take is like two in eighth grade. And every any does that answer your question, Shravanti Auntie? Okay, and if anybody has any other questions, feel free to speak up because I know this is very confusing.
Yes, Ritanya and Rishi, thank you for that insights. Rishi, I think you also mentioned that you could switch electives in between if required, right? So I'm sure there are that might be limited to certain electives and timelines. Would you like to throw some insights on that?
So are you talking about changing electives in between grades?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would say that changing electives within grades has negatives and some positives to it. So, first of all, middle school is a time where you have to experiment. Changing electives during grades, such as taking band in seventh grade and doing robotics in eighth grade, it's middle school. It's a chance to experiment, and this is just like a time where you discover like what's right for you and what you feel like is good. So, I would say taking different courses is good. I would also say that sticking to one course would also be good because it shows commitment to like for colleges and high schools you're applying to, especially like Thomas Jefferson High School and Academies of Aladdin. But they don't really look into that a lot, so I would say experiment with their classes and have fun with it. And Ritanya, you can elaborate more if you want.
Yeah. And you could change it between your seventh or eighth grade or sixth grade between them, but it might be very hard because I tried to change mine from art foundations to, I think, coding or computer solutions, but it was like very hard because it was the second day, but all these slots were filled for it. So you have to be sure with your option and then choose it right away when you
Yeah,
submit the elective sheet.
yeah. I would say also that with your electives, be careful with what you're choosing because some of your electives can be counted to your high school GPA. And usually, some electives that students would take is like a language and like band or music. Those are like the two electives students usually take, and one of them counts to your high school GPA. So you have to make sure you're doing good in your classes. And by any chance, if you don't do good in that class and you're not satisfied with your grade, in LCPS, there's a thing called expunging. Expunging is the process when you just take that grade off your transcript and that class off, and you can redo it next year, and no one will know. Does that answer your question, Shravanti Auntie? Or
Absolutely. Thank you for that insights. That actually answered one of my other question also, in the sense that, like you mentioned, if you had to pick one in seventh and another in eighth, um, and there's another kid who has also picked in seventh and eighth, would that kid have an edge because they've done an intro level and you're doing a much higher level at eighth? Would that play some impact as well, other than the points that you mentioned?
okay, so
So
I'll talk.
the
Oh, you can talk first.
So the great explanation, okay, I don't know how to say it, but that is also available in FCPS in high school or middle school. I also had one of my friends who did that recently because that person, I think, got like a B plus in algebra. So he, that person got to do it over the summer break.
Okay, so Shravanti Auntie, to answer your question, like you're talking about, how would it look if a student took a continued class compared to a student who chose different classes? So there's only one situation where this occurs, and it's only if you continue your language. So if you take your language one in seventh grade and language two in eighth grade. So I would highly recommend this as colleges really like 4 continuous years of languages. So I would recommend keeping one elective aside for your language and continue that, but it's just up to personal preference.
So
So
just
yeah,
edit.
the minimum to like graduate, it's like 3 years of continuous languages, and four and above is when colleges like it.
Great.
So does
Thanks,
anyone
Naman.
else have questions?
So for languages, we need total 4 credits or 3 credits, Rishi?
Um, Wait, can you repeat your question, Auntie?
For languages, how many credits do we need for high school or
Like
college?
to graduate?
Yeah.
So like for a language, I don't know about language, but you need a minimum of 22 standard credits to graduate. And for languages, I think you get 1 credit each year. Am I right, Ritanya?
Yes. So for languages, you get 1 credit each year, but this is just like another point. So if you take like a math course, it is possible for you to get a 1.5 GPA. So the point 0.5 is a weighted credit.
And I'm just going to point this out. Language isn't like a mandatory credit, but if you're looking to get credits from languages, you have to make sure you do it for 3 or more years. So, yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah. So we need at least 3 to 4 credits for language.
yeah, and the rest will be your other classes.
It also depends on what kind of diploma you want to go for.
Okay, yeah. Does that answer your question, Shavanti auntie and Surya auntie?
Yes, ma. Because how I felt is like Shrestha got her world language credits because she did on Telugu. So they asked that we need 3 credits. But some other schools, I think Ivy League, they were asking for 4 credits for a language.
Yeah,
Okay, I was a bit confused, but since Shrestha, they said like 3 credits should be fine. So she got those 3 credits from world language, Telugu. I think those now Advai is taking French, so he has to stick to that elective for the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, right?
that. Yeah, I mean, that's the minimum requirement. Why
Mm-hmm.
you might have heard that Ivy League schools say like 4 credits maximum. I
Mm.
would say from like people usually say, and from my personal knowledge, that colleges really like if you stay consistent on a course. So
Mm.
not just 3 years, if you take 4 or 5 years, that really looks good on your like applications and resume.
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. On top of that, I would like to talk Andy on that.
Mm.
See, for high school, 22 credits are mandatory. If any child is opting for world language credits, the requirement for high school diploma is 3 successive years. Like if I take Latin 1, Latin 2, and I don't want to take Latin 3, if I go for other elective, not a world language, then I don't get credits. Like, it's not a, it should be 3 consecutive. 3 and above is allowed, but 2 is not. And 3 consecutive or other option is 2 and 2. 2 Spanish years and 2 Latin years. 4 years. 4 years of 2 languages or three years of one language. That's the requirement for LCPS as far as I know.
Yeah, yeah. The same should be for FCPS too.
Yeah.
So they should at least get 3 in 1 language
Right.
or
Or 2
2 years, two
up to
plus two. So
different
total
languages.
of language period should be 3 to 4 years.
Right.
If two different languages, then each should be 2 years.
2 years.
If
Right.
one language, then consecutive three
Three
years
years is
and
is
plus.
necessary. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it for diploma. But kids can go for fourth year as well to stand out.
Yeah. For the consistency.
Right, right, Adi. But that will be too tough. There also different categories will be there. For
Mm.
in the fourth year, they can write for test.
Mm.
Duolingual,
Mm.
bilingual. They
Mm.
can accredited on their diploma. They'll get a stamp if they take a test and they pass. It will test the vocabulary and comprehension levels. So it's an extra for students who go beyond 3 years. This is for that.
So this is split among LCPS and FCPS, kadandi, because LCPS is hardly 2 years for middle school. Right now that we have, I think 3 years, sixth, seventh, and eighth, or sixth and seventh.
Six. Rishi, you can take that.
Can you repeat your question, auntie?
Amma was just mentioning that it has to be split between 2 and 2 or 4 years at a stretch, Kanana. But in LCPS, the middle school is what, a span of 2 or 3 years, not 4 years at a stretch. So you meant it has to be spread among middle and high school, right? This 4 years of.
Yes, that's true. So you can also not take a language at all in 7th and 8th grade, and you can take a language in starting from 9th grade and take it until your senior year. So that's another option. So yeah, so it's either you take 3 continuous years of a language, or you take 2 different languages for 2 years each. So those are your options for languages.
Sure. Thank you, Nana.
Yeah.
Rishi, just continuation of what Shavanti auntie asked. So supposing for FCPS, Rishi and Ritanya too, FCPS 7th, 8th, if Advait takes French, so he can do the third year, ninth grade, right?
Yes, Auntie.
Yeah, ninth and 10th. So, supposing somebody, like as Rishi said, if someone takes from 9, 10, 11, 12, so is it like they teach according to the experience? I mean, the students who have completed their first 2 years in middle school, they'll be given the toughest. Are they divided based on their experience in language in ninth
Um,
grade?
so usually, you go step by step, Auntie. So if he takes French 1, then he go to
Mm,
French 2, French 3,
mm.
French 4, like that.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say the same thing. So in high school classes and middle school classes that I went through, so I haven't went through high school classes, but I'm just saying it's gonna be like this. In high school, you can have a 12th grader in your class. So you if you
Oh,
are a
okay.
ninth grader, maybe taking like no, not 12th, maybe like 10th or 11th. If you're a
Mm,
ninth grader taking Latin, like Spanish 3, the
mm.
11th grader may also be on his path taking like, Spanish 3, like that, right? Because he might have
Oh,
started it late. So the people in similar level, like whichever
mhm.
level you're in, they will be placed in the same class regardless of how old they are and what grade they're in.
Got it, ma. That answered my question.
So Sunita Auntie has also asked a question. So it is, when do after school activities usually start in FCPS? And how should students know if they're interested in exploring more about it? So for me, after school activities started in November, around October and November. So it'll take 4 or to 5 weeks for them to start all of it. And so each, as I said in the presentation, each club will have like an interest meeting or something like that. So they can like attend that, and then know they will know if they're interested in it. And they could also go for 1 or 2 classes and as like a tryout, and then they can continue it if they do like it. Does that answer your question, Auntie?
Yes, Ritanya. Yeah, thank you. I just want to know, like, from which month they have to be actively looking for. So you said it's November, right? November is the one starts.
Sometimes it also starts at October, Auntie.
Oh,
So
okay, but they
she
do
just, that's
send the
why you should
emails.
check her email.
Oh, okay. Will
It
the
really
parents
depends
also?
if they have all the buses or.
Oh, okay. Will the parents also receive emails regarding those after-school programs? Or
No, Auntie. So as I said, self-advocacy. So they
mm-hmm.
have to check their email,
Okay,
or
yeah.
if they miss it, they miss it. But some of the clubs are just walk-ins. You can just stay after school and then just
Mm-hmm.
go to the club, like volleyball. That's what I went to. In your book, you have to sign up for it, what you want
Mm-hmm.
to do. So that she should like sign up like before sometime.
Oh, okay, Tanya. Thank you. Thank you so much for the
So
information. Yeah. Yes, Rishi.
okay, yeah, I was just
Mm-hmm.
going to add on to the LCPS version for this.
Mm-hmm.
For this version, we won't have, if you're like an LCPS student, this applies to everyone. Um, it's not gonna be like as structured as FCPS. Like you won't have like walk-ins and stuff like that. You won't even get any emails about clubs starting really at all, unless you check some like a website for that. So these details you have to ask your friends, you have to constantly be talking, and you have to be hungry for information. You have to go around asking. You have to like talk to club leaders within your school. Just look at the morning news show, newsletter, get information in any way you can. And yeah, for us clubs, we have 2 semesters for clubs. We have during the like October, November, like October, September during that time. And then we also have during February and March. So we have 2 signups for those. And yeah, there's no interest meetings. So just research on your club beforehand. And I would say look at clubs that your school is really good at. So I would say like Rachel Carson and Brambleton Middle School, they've gotten many awards for Model UN. So joining clubs like that are good, that your school is good at, those would really help and look good on your college. When you're applying. Does that answer?
Yeah, thank you, Rishi. Yeah. So, will there be any prerequisite exams for that to get into
So,
it?
Auntie, for the science Olympiad and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, and also STEM teams, will
Mm-hmm.
have like competition. So the competitive clubs that are based on education, they might have like a test before that for them to be selected for it.
Okay, okay, Ritanya. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So Rishi, in follow up to what Sunita auntie asked, actually you answered part of my question already. So basically when you say it is not very organized in LCPS or certain schools are good at a certain level or so, it's all based on your networking and your hunger to learn that information through your networking or university website or whatever scenario that is, but not exactly that you have that information available at the start of the year or pamphlets, emails, or some kind of a communicated forum where all the clubs that are with that school and the kind of awards, the timelines, and details as such with point of contact details and things as such are not available upfront in one place, right? It's just you being hungry and you being out there trying to get that information. Is that what it bottles down to?
That's what I would say, but for Brambleton Middle School, just the one that I'm going to, it is structured like that. So a lot of my friends, they're like club leaders, like science Olympiad leaders. So it's also based on which friend groups you make. Choose smartly, like I already said. Involve yourselves and be friends with people who will push you to your limits. And as far as it goes for clubs, I would just say check like the website, your school website, and your morning news show. That is where most of the club information comes out. And this is not down to the parents. And parents listening, you should tell your kids that they should really be looking for these in their school. And yeah,
I
that's
just
pretty much
want
all
to
I would say.
add for this, Rishi. Shravanti, actually, from your school, you'll get weekly report. In that, flyers will be there. There, you'll have what clubs are there, and you can register actually.
Yeah, I would say that that's mostly only for Brambleton. I've checked with my friends from other schools. They seem not to be getting that sometimes. So it just depends on your school. I was gonna make that point,
Makes
Kirti.
sense. Makes sense. Thank you, Kirtigar, and thank you, Rishi. So, in either of your two responses, what I see a common point is the fact that in newsletters or something, there is information pertaining coming in for a certain aspects of news club. Let's say my news club starts in the month of August, so mine comes up in August, but there's something that's lined up in the month of November, which I'm not even aware of. I'll probably get to know only when they announce, whenever they decide to announce, a month before, day before, or whatever. But it's not like I have a consolidated place where I have a list of all of them. And that's probably the school website, like you were suggesting, Rishi. That's probably the usually the common mode
Uh,
to
I
look
would
for,
say,
right?
yeah, schools.
Shravanti, it will be like spring and fall clubs will be there for your heads up. I'm just giving.
Yeah, that like
Okay.
I already said, like I said spring, like during February you have signups and during September and October you have signups. And it depends on school. Like Brambleton Middle School, you'll get weekly newsletters. Maybe for Willard schools like that, you have maybe it comes more on morning news show. It just really just depends because
Sure.
that's what I got information from other schools.
Thanks, Nana.
And yeah. And I saw a question that a person asked a while back, but we couldn't get to all the questions. Um, Adia, I think, right? Did you ask this question? You took band for sixth grade, and you said like, what do you expect for it, and can you tell me on how it works?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, I don't know, Ritanya, do you have any experience with band?
No, I haven't. I took chorus in seventh grade, but that's it. I haven't done anything else.
So like, yeah, so I would say like I'm a really big band kid, like getting into eighth grade band from sixth, seventh grade, like I would say I have a lot of information. So can you tell me which instrument you're gonna play, Adia?
Clarinet.
Okay, yeah, so that's a very popular choice. And the school, which school are you going to?
Mercer.
So yeah, so most of the schools like um they're like, oh, you have to. So what you should mostly expect is multiple band levels. In sixth grade, you'll be placed in like band sectionals based on your instrument. In seventh grade, you're gonna be placed on woodwind section. So in sixth grade, you'll be placed with all the clarinets and learn like that. In seventh grade, you're gonna be placed with all the woodwinds. Like you're gonna be placed with clarinets, flutes, saxophones, bassoons, like that. You're gonna be placed with those. And in eighth grade for my school, I got placed with the full band. And in eighth grade, there's two different types of bands, or maybe three, depending on your school. And it's just basically like for those who don't play as well, average, and so and so who are better. So how you should prepare, I would say, is if you want to get to top levels in band, because colleges really like band, and like if you do good in marching band competitions, it'll be good. I would just say like make sure you set time apart in your day to practice your instrument, and just be responsible with it. Clean it often, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about this. In high school, it gets a little more complex about band. Does that answer your question, Nadia?
Yes, thanks, Rishiana.
Okay. And um
I think that was all the questions that we received.
is there any questions that we missed, anyone? Like, feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have one question, Rishi. Like in summer, they can do any of the subject, right? So where we'll get that information, like, and when the link was come, where that for whom the link will be sent to register?
Okay, so I think, Auntie, are you talking about virtual Aladdin?
Yes.
Okay, so this depends on counties. Like, Britannia will talk about this off after with Fairfax version. So virtual Aladdin is just, I'm just giving a quick definition. It's just something where you take a course over the summer, and this will allow you to get into an accelerated course. So an example I would say is in seventh grade I took algebra one, and then in my seventh grade summer I took geometry. And this is so I can free up a course in my eighth grade to take a higher math course such as algebra two. So for this, the details they would come in your newsletter, because if you're in Brambleton, they come in the newsletter, I'm pretty sure. But as I said, it just depends with clubs. It comes newsletter, and from the students' perspective, it comes a lot in the morning news show. So the parents might not know about that, so you have to ask your kid about where they see the virtual Loudon information. And there's QR codes that come up in the morning news show where students scan and go to the website. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
So it will be like the scan that kids need to be scan and get the link.
That's one option. A few other options are, um, sometimes they don't send the information. So you can go to the Virtual Loudon website and check the available courses that you want to take. But yeah,
But
teachers,
that link where we'll get as a parent, how we will get? Because if when you're registering, parent should be registering, right? Not the kid, right? But without the information, how the parents will be getting it?
yeah, that's what I mean. So I would say that the students will tell their parents. So when they scan the QR code, they don't actually fill out the form. They're just keeping it like on their like computer and taking it home and showing it. That's what some of we did. And this comes out in newsletters, like you said, Auntie. Like, when you said club information, I got this information from newsletters. And it's just like when people, just like friends, they talk around, they're talking about like online courses. And one other way is just searching up virtual Loudon, just like a website, right?
Yeah.
uh,
But we are
yeah,
not aware, right? As a parent, there will be like, if somebody tells only, we'll come to know there is a summer program, right?
that's pretty
Until
much.
that, we'll not know there how we'll know that there will be a one website and we need to go there and such. That's what my question is.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, most students really don't know about like virtual Loudon or anything. Like, in like schools where it's competitive and students really want to excel, those types of schools, they know about these programs. Like, um because only like maybe let's say like 50 kids in the school know about virtual Loudon. And that's not because like it's advertised. The school doesn't advertise. You have to like get to know yourself and sign up like that. That's all I have to say. Retanya,
So
do you have anything to say?
No, not really. So for FCPS, the parents do receive some kind of email if it's like very important. I'm not sure if you can take it in 7th grade, like an online summer course, but in 8th grade, when you're going to high school, you can take it. I took PE recently.
So for LCPS, it's going to start from seventh, after seventh grade, right, Rishi?
Yes, Auntie, that's true.
Okay.
And I would just say, like, for to answer your question, I checked the past newsletters for Brambleton Middle School, and the information comes out in the newsletters nearing the end of the year, I'm pretty sure, because that's when I got it. For other schools, I think,
But the registration has been done 3 to 4 months before, Rishi, not at the end of the year, I think so.
yeah, that's what I mean, like near the end of the year, because there's like registration slots, and when the year ends in summer, it immediately starts. So, um, that's what I mean.
The program started without the school year ended, right? It started before 2 weeks, so probably 2 3 months before only the parents should be do the registration. So maybe the flyer has come 3 months before. You're telling?
Yeah, like nearing the end of the school year, like start of fourth quarter, which is near
Okay,
the,
start of fourth quarter. I got it. Okay.
like just information like that. And for other schools, I would just say checking newsletters, be attentive for any information. And that's all I have to say for virtual Loudon. And it's not a required thing to take. Many students don't take it at all. And I don't think,
Um,
okay, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Adia.
So in band, how many years do you have to how many years do you have to do like band to get like a credit, and how many do you get?
Um, Ritanya, would you like, oh wait, you didn't take pen,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So I think the higher levels, it depends on how much experience you have in band. So you have jazz band. I don't think jazz band has something. But like I think there's an option called advanced band where you do receive credit in my school. I'm not sure about your school.
Okay, so to answer your question, Adya, I would say you're talking about getting credit from band, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is usually not given out in middle school, and the only way you can get a credit from band is continuing it throughout middle school to high school. And in high school, only if you take marching band, then you'll get the credit and you'll get a GPA bump.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And Ritanya, there's a question in the chat.
Yeah, I'm like replying to it. Okay, so does anyone else have any questions?
Okay, so I mean, just to answer the question out loud from Shreya, would you recommend taking any courses over the summer? In middle school, I wouldn't really recommend so unless you want to just take higher levels of like math or something. But in high school, like I would recommend taking an online course because you only have three like you can only take an online course 3 times over the summer in your entire middle school and high school career. So you have to be wise. So I would say like there's not really good courses like to take over the summer in middle school
Wait,
unless you want to
so
take math.
you
You
could
can,
take PE. It's like very easy.
yeah.
You're
Yeah,
telling,
that's what I was gonna
Rishi,
say.
like you're telling 3 times, right? Is it like till 12th grade, the max you can take three you're talking about? Three courses you
Yeah,
can take in the summer?
it's max until 12th grade.
Oh, only three summer courses they can take.
Yeah, only 3 summer
Oh,
courses. You
oh,
can't take any more.
okay. In the same year, they can take two, right? Also?
Over the summer?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think you're only supposed to take one course over the summer.
Okay.
And yeah, so a good online course I would say is like what Ritanya said, taking PE over the summer. This will come in your 8th grade summer. And why this is good, Ritanya, you can explain yours.
So it is the easiest thing that you can take without passing or failing, not really passing and failing. So, but you have to do an hour of workout each day.
Yeah, so for FCPS, LCPS is different. For I'm not gonna get into too much detail because many students might not take this. All I'm saying is you have to work out 360 minutes in a week and more, and you're gonna have many assignments that involve using Canva and stuff like that. And I would just say taking this course, you might ask why. Why is it good? And I would say taking this course is very good because it gives you another elective in high school. And electives are very important because, they're just something you can choose. So yeah, if you didn't take PE over the summer, you wouldn't have an extra elective for those who take it. And
Answer your question, Shrek?
Yeah, thank you.
yeah,
In follow-up to that, sorry that I have some very basic questions, but if I may, um, when you say summer, you're talking about when you're already in middle school or when you're transitioning from elementary to middle as well? Does that summer count?
Auntie, I think it's only in middle school and going from middle to high school. I
Okay,
don't think
yeah,
we had it in
sure.
elementary.
Thanks.
it's only in middle school from 7th grade it starts and it goes until 12th grade. So you can't take it in 6th grade summer or anything like that. You can only take 7th grade summer and up.
Thank you
So
for clarifying that.
and does anyone have any questions? Feel free to ask questions like multiple times. It's like confusing.
Yep. I think that's it.
Yeah, and like just like no, there's no questions, but I would just like to say that in middle school, what will define you is like it's all up to you. It's all up to your mind and how you react to certain situations that you are placed in. And it's important not to overthink. And in middle school, students often tend to overthink. Me personally, I never had that problem because students who overthink, they can get into like many stress problems. And this comes like in the presentation I was talking about managing stress. This is very important because if you don't manage your stress well, assignments you could be doing like very bad in. Like so just like you have to it's all like down to your mind. Just make sure you're always calm and just just think of it as like a fun time to experiment and also just like get good grades. Okay, so if anyone has no other questions, Ritanya, you can end it off.
So thank you guys for joining. So if you do have any other questions after this, you could like text any of our parents and we will try to. Oh yes, sure. Yeah.
Sorry, I hate to be the only one raising my hand each time.
No, that's fine.
But thank you both for the extensive, intense walkthrough between middle to high school transition and how life in general, other than academics, can look like. I hope this gives insight to a lot of people. So thank you so much for doing that. Do you guys also have any insights, guidance, or any aspects that you want to throw in from elementary to middle school transition?
So middle school is way different than elementary school, but it's just a time to like have fun and figure out what you want to do in your future.
So oh sorry, from my experience, I would say the jump from elementary school to middle school is the one of the biggest jumps that you can experience, and it's more than going from middle school to high school. This is because this kid shifts from like a more freestyle like no, a more like standardized learning in elementary school with not that much like complexity to more rigorous work in middle school. And this change is hard and you have to be ready for this. And to be prepared, I would say always keep your mind fresh during the summer. Just do like just practice your mind, read frequently, just practice math problems. I would just say anything that prepares you for the year. And one important thing is your supplies. Just make sure you don't have to follow supplies that the teacher says. Get supplies that feel right for you and that make you feel like you'll be successful. If that didn't make sense, Shavanti Auntie, you can.
It does, Nana. It totally does. You're absolutely right, and that's what I feel. It's a huge transition from middle, from elementary to middle, rather than the other way around. Because in middle, you're already preparing for high school, but elementary, I don't know, if kids are really being prepped for the transition. So, absolutely. And any other thing in the perspective of academics or elective selections or anything of that sorts that they could start early, probably? Do you guys have any insights on that aspect as well?
Um, so I would say just start with what you think you're very interested in. So I took chorus and art because I was interested in singing and also some art. So that it'll be fun.
Yeah,
And
just like
other
yeah.
than
So yeah, you're just yeah, Ritanya, you're just trying to say like it's just a time to like experiment and
yeah.
try new stuff that you would not usually take. That's just middle school, and the transition it is very big, so I would just say you have to be prepared, but don't take middle school as some like crazy new place with so many bullies, and it's really like not that crazy. It's just like it's basically just a fun place where you get to learn, just hang out with your friends, and don't take too much pressure on grades, because just remember, like, at the end of the day, it just matters how you are as a personal human being, and that grades don't just make up like your college applications. It's also like your extracurriculars, which matter like 10 times more. So make sure outside of school as well, you join like good clubs, like get yourself involved with the outside world, just start projects, and yeah, just like have fun with the process. Then only you'll do good.
Honor.
Um, I have one more question.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of confused about the blocks.
Oh, blocks. So blocks are just like the different subjects that you'll be going through the day. So
Here's
one,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you can continue.
So what kind of question do you specifically have on them?
So I'm confused on like them in general.
Okay, so for each block or period, you'll have a 5-minute time to go from one period to the other. So, yeah, you have to know how to like go to your locker, open it up real quick, and then take all your stuff and go to your next period without like I mean, you could talk to your friends on the way if they're going to the same class next to it, but do not if your friend is on the other corner of the school and your class is on the other side, do not like go talk to them and then like rush when the 1 minute music is like playing.
Yeah, so just to further elaborate, blocks are just so in elementary school, I'm sure you're familiar with like in one day, you're with one teacher the entire time, and you learn math, science, English, and just history or something, all with her. And if you want to go to PE or art, you go out. Well, when you go out, you spend some time with those teachers in elementary school. Just like that, imagine doing that for every subject in middle school. So for science, there would be okay. Let's just make this simpler. In a day, there are 4 blocks usually. Okay, and in a day, you'll have 4 areas of subjects you study. So an example could be like you can have band, science, math, and PE in a day, and each of those will be 90 minutes long. Okay, and the blocks will be 90 minutes long, like I said, and that's just a time where you just learn. And like Ritanya said, there's 5-minute breaks to transition between classes, and for each block you'll have a different teacher teaching you a different subject. Do you understand that, Adya, or do you need further explanation?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, question on that. So, after each class, what are you going back to the locker for?
So
And
for
how can you avoid that to save some time?
So for that, Auntie, you could just carry the stuff that you need for each class, like having a binder for each day, A days and B days. That's what I had. So I would have a binder for each day. So for the A day binder, the A-Day, I would just take the A-Day binder and then carry it around along with my computer and a pencil pouch. So that way I do not have to go back to my locker.
So yeah, further elaborating, in Fairfax schools compared to Loudoun County, students use their locker more. So in Brambleton Middle School, I'm not a huge fan of lockers at all. Like only 10 kids in our entire school use lockers, but it depends on the person. Like if the person really likes to take notes and take their time like making diagrams and getting all the materials, and you have a lot of materials you can't carry in your bag, a locker is great. And to go between classes, you have to plan this out before you go to the class. Like the first few days, they'll be a little nice about like the 5 minute time, but just make sure because all your classes should usually be right next to your lockers or like near them. So you really won't have to worry about getting late to class. And the only times like people have been late to class is if they're talking with their friends. And what I did, I didn't use lockers. I just kept like, because in schools usually the teachers have places where you can store your notes unless you want to take it home. So I just like got a good like backpack with space, and don't get like, like the $10 ones that don't have that much space. Like research into your backpack and just make sure it has lots of space for materials, and just have at least one organization item, like a binder or a couple of folders. That's all I would say about the lockers and stuff.
Thank you
Does that
both. Yep, it does. Thank you. Very, very informative session. Great job, you guys.
Vidanyaka, can you share pictures of the binders?
Oh, we don't really have. It's just a normal binder, like an
um yeah, so like just like saying that, I think it'll come in your school supplies. Like they might release like Sprout supplies soon. You can just check in there, it has some binders. It'll come with the kit. But if you're looking for good binders, just make sure they have like good 3 ring binders. Just look at the rating. I personally don't really use binders, but you can ask Vitanya for that.
I got the ones from Walmart because they also looked good. So
Yeah, that's I just use folders, but like yeah.
about the folders, if you do not want to carry your binder back to your home, you could just have another folder. A folder is like, I think you guys know what a folder is, but you could just put in some of the paper like homework and things that you need to like study about inside that folder and then take it home. That way your backpack will be less heavier.
Yeah, like don't stress too much about middle school. It's not like as crazy as you guys think it is.
Yeah, it's actually fun.
Yeah, so in the beginning, don't think you have too much homework and take like a huge binder to store everything in. Usually homework only comes in accelerated high school classes. That's in my school, and homework is usually online. So your Chromebook is basically like all you need for homework. Does that answer your question? Okay, and if anyone has any other questions, you can go ahead and ask. Like it's fine if you spoke multiple times. Like it's just the more like knowledge you have on this, the better it is.
So that's probably it. I think we're all done. So if you guys do have any other questions after this, you can text our parents and then they'll like tell us to answer it.
Yeah, like they'll just inform us, and we'll try sending a text back as like quick as possible. And if you have any last minute questions, this is the last time to ask it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, for all of you guys going to middle school or will go to in the future, just good luck and just be prepared. And for those who are already in it, you're probably going to 8th and 7th grade. That's like it gets a little harder, especially from 7th to 8th grade. Just be aware of your high school courses. You got to be a little more organized for that, and yeah, I would just say that, and just keep an eye on your extracurriculars too. Don't focus too much on grades. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you to both of you for answering all the questions.
Thank
Yeah, no
you.
problem, Auntie. Okay. Thank you all for joining. Bye. Good luck with middle school.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.